In this third video on WebSharp Pro version 5, you'll learn how to use the new custom cropping feature. Whenever you export an image like this to a different aspect ratio, like a 2:1, you're of course going to need to crop it. And I might spend a little time trying to find the perfect crop, holding Shift to resize proportionally from the corner, something like this. Once I find this crop, I can go and click to accept it, and I export. And then when I want to go back at some point in the future, and maybe I want to re-export with the exact same crop, either to save me some time or because I want the exact same crop. Like let's say I create a black and white version of this image. Well, it'd be nice if I could get the exact same crop, and now in version 5 you can. So when I click the sharpen button, you'll notice that the cropping starts off in the exact same place I used it the last time. All I have to do is accept it, and I've got the exact same version. And every time I go to crop this image, as long as I've cropped it with a similar ratio in the past, it will export again. Even if I go and do something like increase the resolution, it doesn't matter. As long as the aspect ratio is the same, I'll get the same crop, and I can export the same apparent image. And if I go switch to a different aspect ratio, like let's say I do a 16:9 cinematic, and now I go to export this, it's going to start with the same original default in the center because I've never done a 16:9 with this image before. So I'd have to go and just kind of provide this one time. Maybe I do something like this. But the next time I go and export this image with that ratio, now this will be remembered as well. So you can see I could do my color version of this image, and the 16:9 has that same cropping rectangle. So I can export that. So it makes it very quick and easy. And where this can get really powerful is if you're doing a batch export, you wouldn't have to interactively crop if you go into the settings. Under quick export, you'll notice for crop and fill, there's several options. Of course, if you choose keep full image, you'll never be cropping because it'll get filled with color or blur. But in the cropping section, there used to be two options for an automatic and then an interactive version. But now there's two different versions of the interactive. Interactive always means it will always pop up to let you change or update the crop, but it'll start in the same place it was the last time you used it. Or this new interactive new crops only, it'll only ask you about cropping if it encounters a crop you've never done before on that image. So if we turn to this version, say done, and let's go and create another version. We'll just increase the contrast on this. When I go to export this, it's going to automatically give me that same version without asking about the crop, and I'm done. So that can be very powerful in a bulk export. But then when I go and let's say we could do a different crop, like a 7:5. Well, this time I've never done that crop. So now it's going to ask me how I want to do that crop. And then I just simply accept that and keep going. One important thing to know about this is that these interactive crops get saved with the original file. So when you're done working, if you do a file save, that will help preserve that cropping information for future use. Now click to this next video to learn more about WebSharp Pro.